Have you ever reached for a handful of nuts, maybe out of habit, or because you heard they were heart healthy, thinking, this is good for me, right? You pop them in your mouth, maybe while watching the evening news or sitting on the porch, but then, somewhere down the road, your doctor mentions your cholesterol's creeping up, or your stomach feels off more often, or your energy isn't quite what it used to be. And you think, wait a minute, I've been eating all the right things, haven't I? But here's the truth, and it's one most seniors are never told. Not all nuts are created equal. Some are loaded with hidden salt, others drenched in sugar or coated in oil. And even the ones labeled healthy might not play well with your medications, your digestion, or your change in metabolism. It's not your fault. You've been doing your best. But your body after 60? It's not the same as it was in your 30s or 40s. What once gave you energy might now be weighing you down. And what once kept you going might now be quietly working against you. This is why today's video matters. Because today, we're diving into the truth about one of the most popular snacks in senior kitchens, and probably yours too, nuts. We're going to uncover the 3 worst nuts for seniors, ones that might be messing with your blood pressure, your weight, and your brain without you even realizing it. And then we'll spotlight the 3 best nuts, the ones that can support your heart, fuel your memory, and help you age with strength and grace. So whether you're snacking between meals, adding a few to your morning oatmeal, or just want to know what's actually helping you feel your best in your later years, this is the video you need. Comment "Still learning" if you're always trying to eat smarter as you age. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Care, because your golden years deserve golden nutrition, and around here, we believe knowledge is one of the best forms of self-care. Let's start with a nut that sounds luxurious and tastes even better, but could be quietly adding to your health troubles. Macadamia nuts. Now don't get me wrong, they're delicious. Rich, buttery, and smooth. Alice, one of our longtime viewers, is 72. She used to treat herself to macadamia nut cookies every afternoon with her tea. It became her ritual, something small that made the day feel special. But after a few months, she noticed her clothes getting a bit snugger. Her energy dipped. Her blood sugar readings were bouncing up and down. And when she brought it up to her doctor, they went through her daily habits. Turns out, that little handful of macadamia treats, it was packing a punch her body couldn't handle anymore. See, macadamia nuts are loaded with calories and fat. Now, yes, they do contain healthy monounsaturated fats. That's true. But for seniors, especially those with slower digestion and a metabolism that doesn't burn through food like it used to, those fats add up fast. And the big problem? They're easy to overeat because they're small, smooth, and not very filling. You reach for a few, and before you know it, you've eaten 20. That could be 300 to 400 calories in just a few bites. And yes, I know the label says healthy fats, and they are, in moderation. But that's the trap. Most of us aren't measuring. We're snacking, we're grazing, and that's where it becomes a problem. Especially if you're dealing with blood sugar issues, weight gain around the midsection, or cholesterol concerns. So what can you do? If you really love macadamias, don't cut them out completely, but respect their richness. Stick to just 4 to 6 nuts per serving. That's it. And better yet, pair them with something like sliced apple or pear, something high in fiber and low on the glycemic index to soften the impact. It's not about guilt. It's about wisdom, about knowing your body now, not what it could handle 20 years ago. But macadamias aren't the only sneaky snack sitting in our cupboards. Let's talk about a nut that shows up in just about every household bowl. It could be wrecking your blood pressure. One that's so common, so ordinary, that it often flies under the radar completely. You'll find in bars, vending machines, waiting rooms, and yes, in plenty of living rooms too. Salted peanuts. Now, let me tell you about Tom. Tom's 79. He's sharp, active, keeps a tidy home, and right there on his coffee table, he always kept a bowl of salted peanuts. It became his thing. Guests would nibble. He'd grab a handful during a commercial break. It seemed harmless. A better choice than chips, right? But over time, his blood pressure crept up. At first a little, then a bit more. Eventually, his doctor sat him down and said, "We need to talk about sodium." Tom thought he had it under control. He rarely added salt to meals. He watched his labels. But when they looked closely at his habits, It was those innocent handfuls of salted peanuts, several times a day, that were loading him up with way more salt than he realized. See, peanuts on their own aren't the villain, but salted and flavored peanuts? That's where the trouble starts. Most commercially packaged peanuts are coated, not just with salt, but often with MSG, artificial seasonings, sugars, and oils. That little handful can hold over 250 milligrams of sodium or more, and that adds up fast. Especially if you're already watching your pressure, taking blood pressure medication, or dealing with any form of heart sensitivity. Here's the part that gets tricky. Because they're everywhere, we think they must be safe. They feel familiar, traditional, and because we see them next to healthy snacks, it's easy to lump them in. But here's the reality. Salted peanuts are one of the saltiest snack foods out there. And for seniors, especially those trying to stay independent, stay clear-headed, and keep their cardiovascular system working smoothly, that's a hidden danger. So what's the fix? If you enjoy peanuts, switch to unsalted, dry-roasted varieties. You still get the protein, the fiber, the taste, but without the sodium spike. And if you're open to exploring even better options, hang tight. We're going to get into some truly heart-friendly nuts in just a bit. But first, we need to talk about a sneaky little culprit that hides in sweetness. Because sometimes, it's not just salt that throws our bodies off balance. It's sugar. And you'll find it where you least expect it in the next kind of nut we're going to expose. I'm talking about candied nuts, and especially those chocolate-covered almonds or honey-glazed pecans that somehow sneak into snack drawers, holiday tins, or even gift baskets from well-meaning friends. Take Margaret, for example. She's 76, has a gentle sweet tooth, and always figured that choosing chocolate almonds over candy bars was the healthier option. It felt smart, responsible even. But one day, while reading the label, something she hadn't done before, she realized her healthy snack had more sugar per serving than a glazed donut. And she wasn't alone. So many seniors fall into this same trap. See, almonds on their own? Fantastic. They're one of the best nuts you can eat. But once you dunk them in chocolate, roll them in sugar, or toss them with sweet coatings, that's no longer a healthy choice. That's a dessert in disguise. Let's talk science for a second. When nuts are candied or coated in chocolate, the glycemic impact spikes. That means your blood sugar goes up faster and higher, putting more pressure on your insulin system. And over time, this can mess with insulin sensitivity, leading to fatigue, inflammation, and yes, even contributing to the risk of type 2 diabetes. The sugar doesn't just affect your waistline. It affects your joints, your memory, your mood, all of it. And here's the kicker. Because these nuts are coated in something sweet, they're even easier to overeat. You don't just have a handful. You grab another, and another. It tastes innocent, but it's not. Now, I get it. Sometimes you do want something sweet. That craving is real, and there's no shame in it. So here's a better move. Pair raw or dry roasted almonds with a few berries. Maybe some blueberries, or a couple slices of apple. You'll still get that sweetness, but now it's from nature, not sugar syrup. You'll nourish your body, keep your blood sugar steady, and support your long-term health, all without giving up that little moment of indulgence. Now, that covers the troublemakers. But don't worry, we're not here just to take things away. Let's switch gears and talk about the good news. The 3 best nuts for seniors. The ones that actually help you feel stronger, sharper, and more energized as you age. And we're starting with a nut that's like a little miracle for your brain. Walnuts. Now, Elaine, she's 75, retired school teacher, sharp as ever, told me something interesting. She started adding just a small handful of walnuts to her morning oats, nothing fancy. Within a few weeks, she said she noticed something subtle but powerful, less brain fog. She could focus longer. She didn't crash after lunch like she used to. And the research backs her up. Walnuts are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. These healthy fats are known to support brain function, reduce inflammation, and even help protect against age-related cognitive decline. They also support heart health by improving cholesterol levels and reducing blood pressure. In short, walnuts are a whole-body health booster, especially for the aging brain and heart. But I know what you might be thinking. Aren't they kind of bitter? It's a fair point. Raw walnuts can have a slightly astringent bite. But here's the trick. Lightly toast them in a dry pan or oven for just a few minutes. It softens the bitterness and brings out a warm, nutty flavor that pairs beautifully with fruit, honey, or even a sprinkle of cinnamon. Or mix them in a plain Greek yogurt with a handful of blueberries. Add to salads with sliced apple or pear. Stir them into your oatmeal, like Elaine. These little tweaks turn walnuts into a daily treat that's both delicious and deeply nourishing. You don't need a lot, just 7 halves a day. That's enough to reap the brain and heart benefits without overdoing the calories. So, if you're looking to stay sharp, improve your memory, and support healthy aging from the inside out, walnuts are a simple, natural way to do it. And if brain health is important, and let's be honest, for most of us, it's at the top of the list, then this next nut is a secret weapon for staying strong, steady, and satisfied all day long. It's practical, affordable, and easy to find just about anywhere. Almonds. Joseph, 81, made a small change in his routine. He stopped keeping chips in the pantry, those salty, crunchy go-to snacks, and instead kept a little container of almonds nearby. That one swap, he says, it changed everything. He noticed he didn't crash mid-afternoon like he used to. His cravings went down, his blood sugar stayed steadier, and he felt fuller, longer. And there's a reason for that. Almonds are packed with vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that supports cellular repair and brain health. They're rich in magnesium, which helps regulate blood pressure and supports muscle function, something seniors often struggle with as strength starts to decline. And then there's the protein, just enough to fuel your body without feeling heavy. That protein, along with fiber, helps keep you satisfied between meals. That means fewer cravings, less snacking, and better control over weight and energy levels. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but aren't they hard to chew? Yes, if you've got dental sensitivity or dentures, whole raw almonds might feel like a chore. But here's the workaround. Try sliced almonds, or blanched almonds without the skin. Even almond butter, the natural kind with no added sugar or oils, is a fantastic, creamy option. Spread it on apple slices, whole grain toast, or even stir it into oatmeal for a satisfying boost. The key with almonds is portion control. Because they're dense in nutrients, it's easy to overdo it. Keep small pre-portioned servings handy. About a quarter cup is plenty. That's enough to fuel your body, support your muscles, and feed your brain without overloading on calories. And here's something else worth mentioning. Almonds are great for memory retention. In fact, several studies have linked regular almond consumption to improvements in cognitive performance in older adults. So if you want a snack that supports your strength, stability, and sharpness, almonds are one of the best choices you can make. But we're not done yet, because when it comes to digestion, cholesterol, and heart health, this final nut, it might just be the most powerful of them all. A nut that's small, bright, and often underestimated. Pistachios. Let me tell you about Gloria. She's 78, full of life, and takes a walk every evening just as the sun dips low. A few months ago, she started eating a small handful of pistachios before those walks. Not a big change, just a habit she picked up from a neighbor. After a while, she noticed something interesting. Her digestion felt smoother. Her steps felt lighter. She wasn't bloated or sluggish like she sometimes used to be in the afternoons. What changed? That little green nut. Pistachios are packed with fiber, and for older adults, fiber is more than just a gut thing. It helps regulate digestion, yes, but it also supports blood sugar stability, cholesterol balance, and even immune function. And the antioxidants? Pistachios are rich in them, especially lutein and zeaxanthin, which support eye health as we age. That's something few snacks can claim. Plus, they're one of the few nuts that give you a good mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats, all in one handful. That combo helps keep you feeling full and nourished without weighing you down. Now, you might be thinking, but they're addictive. I can't stop at just one. And honestly, that's true. Pistachios are delicious. But here's the trick. Buy them in the shell. Why? Because the act of shelling them slows you down. It gives your body time to register fullness. It turns a quick snack into a mindful experience. And visually, when you see the shells piling up, it naturally encourages portion control. So instead of reaching for chips or cookies or something heavy before bed, you can enjoy a small bowl of in-shell pistachios and know you're fueling your body in a way that's heart-smart, digestion-friendly, and deeply satisfying. One handful a day, about 30 pistachios, is all it takes to see real benefits. And when combined with a walk, a glass of water, or a relaxing stretch, you're creating a routine that supports not just your body, but your lifestyle. Pistachios aren't just a snack. They're a statement. I'm still choosing health. I'm still taking care of myself. Now, let's bring all of this together. Because eating well in later life, it's about more than just the science. It's about how food makes you feel, and how every small choice adds up to something bigger: dignity, energy, and peace of mind. You know, it's not easy letting go of foods we've loved for years. Maybe it's that bowl of peanuts your father always had on the counter, or those chocolate almonds your grandkids brought over last Christmas. These aren't just snacks, they're memories, familiar comforts. And I get it. There's something deeply emotional about food. It anchors us. It reminds us of people, places, and times we don't want to lose. But here's the gentle truth. As we age, our bodies begin to ask something different from us. And sometimes it means putting love into ourselves in a new way, by learning what helps and what harms. Because when you start feeding your body with intention, when you really understand what's going in and how it affects how you feel, something shifts. You sleep better. You think more clearly. You wake up with less pain. And maybe, just maybe, you feel a little more like yourself again. That's why this isn't about restriction. It's not about punishing yourself or denying joy. It's about wisdom, the kind that comes from living, learning, and still having the courage to make changes that serve you. This is about choosing foods that love you back, foods that fuel your energy, protect your heart, support your mind, and keep you moving through the day with a little more lightness, a little more freedom. So I want to challenge you gently. Go to your snack drawer. Look at your pantry. What's in there that's truly supporting your health? What's giving you life, and what might be quietly taking it away? What could you swap out today? Just one thing. Maybe it's switching out the honey-roasted nuts for raw walnuts. Maybe it's replacing salted peanuts with a handful of pistachios. Maybe it's just asking yourself the question, what does my body need now? Because you don't need a perfect diet. You don't need to throw everything out. You just need to take one step, a small, thoughtful shift in the right direction. And the beauty is you can start right now. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. You don't have to feel overwhelmed or deprived. Just start with one change, one smarter choice, one little moment of self-respect in the form of food. That's how real transformation begins. That's how long, vibrant living takes root. Not with force, but with kindness, with care, and with a quiet, powerful reminder that you're still worth taking care of. Let's take a moment to bring it all together. Today, we talked about the 3 worst nuts for seniors, the ones that might seem harmless but can quietly work against your health. Macadamias, high in fat and easy to overeat. Salted peanuts, loaded with sodium that can spike your blood pressure. And candied or chocolate-covered nuts, full of hidden sugars that can disrupt your energy and raise your inflammation. And then we shifted to the good news. The 3 best nuts that support long, vibrant aging. Walnuts for your brain and your heart. Almonds for your muscles, memory, and blood sugar. And pistachios for digestion, cholesterol, and that perfect balance of protein and fiber. It's amazing how something as small as a nut can shape your strength, your mood, your clarity, even your independence as you age. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which nut surprised you the most today? Or do you already have a favorite, senior-friendly snack that's been working wonders for you? Drop in the comments. I'd really love to learn from your experience. And when you share, you're not just helping me. You're helping someone else watching who might be walking the same path you are. And if this video helped you rethink what's sitting in your pantry, or gave you a little clarity on what's helping versus what's holding you back, subscribe to Elderly Care. There's more where this came from. We've got judgment-free, practical, and encouraging advice to help you thrive in every season of life. You're not alone in this. You never have to be. Thank you so much for being here. Keep choosing what nourishes you, body, mind, and soul. Stay curious, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.